I'm Brian Crawford. This is my data overview for Brunswick High School with a focus on physical science and biology. I'm doing this for my Tech 7305 Data Analysis and School Improvement course. The purpose for our data overview is to gain an overall perspective on our student body at BHS and how we compare to the district and state according to our CCRPI score. We will be observing a lot between BHS, Brunswick High School, and Glenn Academy. But as far as our student demographic, we'll focus solely on Brunswick High School. We also want to observe the proficiency rates within our subgroups for biology and physical science EOC courses. Overall at BHS, our student population, you can see how we have a number of students that have increased from 1,830 students up to 1,870. And over this process, Brunswick High School has entered into a brand new high school. That was in the year 2013-2014 school year. The last year in the old high school was in 2012 and 2013. And from then on, you can see how there has been a slight increase in students. As far as the American Indian and Alaskan student body, it's very, very minimal. Not even enough to really kind of consider when we're looking at actual performance rates. One group that I want to point out is our Black population and how it has steadily increased from the 2012-2013 school year to the 2014-2015 school year. We've increased each calendar year from 725 to 749 up to now we have 769 Black students. I point out the Black population because the Hispanic from 2012 to 2015 has been pretty comparable. The multiracial group has dropped, but our white population as well, just like the Hispanics, has stayed pretty similar and pretty comparable from 2012 and 2015. Another group to point out is the economically disadvantaged students and how it has steadily increased as well from 1,146 students to 1,191 students in the 2014-2015 school year. As far as comparing all of the subgroups via pie chart, as you see in 2012 and 2013, you can kind of get a better, create a better picture for yourself, and you're looking at each subgroup and you see that the white population exceeds all other subgroups inside of the school. The next highest group would be our Black population. So it's pretty close to a 50-50 school when you're looking at Black to white. But you can see, and also looking at the pie charts, you see that the percentages of subgroups really doesn't change very much as a whole. The dynamic of the school pretty much stays pretty consistent, even though we had an increase of Black population from the 2012-2013 school year to the 2014-2015 school year. And there has been a slight increase in students and the student body as a whole. However, when looking at the big picture, you see that the dynamic basically stays just about the same. Looking at the CCRPI score comparison between the two high schools in the district of Glenn County, which is Brunswick High and Glenn Academy. There are some red flags when looking at Brunswick High, and in the data table, you can see in 2015 we scored a CCRPI of 63.8 compared to 84.1 with Glenn Academy. That's a big, big gap. But you can also see, if you look at 2012, you can see that the CCRPI score at Brunswick High has steadily decreased each calendar year from 2012, which was 75.4, to now 2013, 72.6, 67.2 in 2014, and now 63.8 in 2015. This is a concern for Brunswick High and for the Board of Education in Glenn County. As far as the Glenn Academy, the neighboring high school in the district, you can see that they have increased from 2012 to 2015 almost 10 CCRPI points, which I feel is a big jump, and it's something that they should be proud of. But as far as being affiliated with Brunswick High, I think it's important for us to accept this decrease in CCRPI scores and to be a part of the solution and to start really kind of pinpointing where are we lacking and how can we improve these scores. And you can see off to the side we have another visual of a line chart that really shows you the increase at Glen Academy and the decrease of the CCRPI scores at Brunswick High. Now we're going to get into the comparison of subgroups only at Brunswick High School between the two curriculum courses of biology and physical science. These are two of our EOC courses that are wrapped up in the science department. If you notice the white population in 2013 2014, pretty consistent from 90% to 92%. You see a major drop off in 2015 at 57%. And in speaking with other faculty members in the science department, it's pretty consistent, given that last year was my first year at Brunswick High School, that they changed companies, or test companies, from it used to be the EOCT test, which was the end of course test, to now it's just the end of course. It's just the EOC exam. So they have a different company, different test, and a different way of grading, hence the drop scores. And eventually we'll look at all of the subgroups and be able to compare, and you kind of get a better idea about, how dynamic is this drop of 57%, which obviously needs to improve. And then we go to physical science EOC performance rate for the subgroup white students. Again, you see that there's a drop in 2013 to 2014 from 92 to 87%, and also a big drop off in 2015 at 55%. Remember, this is due to the change in test companies. And here's a line chart down below, or line graph down below, that kind of gives you an idea of the performance rate over the previous 3 years in physical science from the subgroup white students. Moving on to our black population in biology, the EOC scores are a good amount of points below the white population. However, in 2013, 2014 seems acceptable at 70% and 75%. However, the 2015 drop is much more drastic than the white population at 34%. This is a red flag. I don't think it really matters what company you have testing. This is something that we truly, I know for myself, this is an area that I need to improve upon as well. And then looking at the black student body with the physical science EOC performance rates, you see that in 2013, 2014, there was an increase from 77% to 82%. That's a plus. However, in 2015, there was a major drop at 22%. Again, with the new company, you can also get a better idea when we look at all the student subgroups and see how they performed during that 2015 calendar year. Now moving into the Hispanic student body with biology EOC, we have pretty consistent 85 to 86% from 2013 to 2014. That's a consistent performance rate when we're looking at proficiency in biology EOC. And they too also saw a major drop in 2015 at 54%, which is better than the black population. So looking between Hispanic, whites, and blacks, the black population does create quite a concern. And moving on to the Hispanic group in physical science, you see that they have a big drop from 2013 to 2014 from 92% to 79%. And in 2015, they saw an even greater drop to 50% on proficiency rating in the physical science EOC exam. So as you've seen, there's a pretty steady decrease of performance each calendar year as we progress along. It's something that we, as a science department, would like to kind of break down and kind of evaluate and observe and see, where does the problem actually. And then going back to the all subgroups and kind of looking at each comparison for each calendar year in 2013, you see this is for biology EOC. We can see that we have, for all students, 82% proficiency rating for the biology EOC in 2013. In 2014, we saw an increase to 85%, so that's a plus. And in 2015, we are at 47%. You see the drop. So, how valid is that 47% is how alarming, basically, is that number. Does it seem below the standard? Yes. Would it be better suited for more years to come as we kind of evaluate over the next few years, say the next 3-year span, see where we're at? Yes, of course, it would definitely make it more valid and see exactly how big of a concern is this. But obviously, the 47th percentile definitely needs to increase. And then looking at the physical science EOC subgroup performance comparison, you see that we have in 2013 we're at 84%, and in 2014 we're also at 84%. So staying consistent, and then going to the new company, the new testing company, you see that we dropped to 40% in physical science. And as we continue with this company and we start to see more scores coming in after each calendar year, we can reevaluate and see, at least identify if we are getting worse or if we're at least making striving forward and moving forward in our improvement plan. As far as looking back at the data that's been observed here recently, here are some discussion questions that we can kind of evaluate and kind of reassess, what exactly is taking place here. So what is the reason for the major drop-off for all subgroups in 2015? And we can look at the company. Yes, that's an idea, but what is it? Or is the test written at a higher level? Are there more questions? Or are they longer questions? Looking at the vocabulary, so really trying to getting their hands on the test and breaking them down question by question. That would be an idea. The next thing is, what is the solution to closing the achievement gap between black students and white students? Our performance rates for all subgroups in biology increased from 2013 to 2014. What did we do different? All right, what is the cause of increase for the biology EOC proficiency rates? And then the black students saw an increase in physical science performance rates from 2013 to 2014, but all other subgroups saw a drop in performance rates. Now this is a positive, and we want to see, maybe we can kind of collaborate and talk as a data team and see what did we do different, or what can we assume that could possibly have taken place and why this is, so we can repeat and possibly get some more increase the numbers in the black population. As an overall summary, BHS saw a consistent drop in CCRPI scores from 2013 to 2015. This is an issue, and this is something as a faculty we should all accept and move forward and definitely come together on increasing and helping to improve the CCRPI score. BHS saw a steady increase in student population. BHS and the Glenn County District and the state saw a drop in CCRPI scores from 2013 to 2014. The red flag is that BHS did not close the gap. They scored lower from 2014 to 2015. If we go back and look, you can see that the CCRPI score, actually not go back, but if you look at the 2015 BHS breakdown, you can see how the CCRPI scores went back up in both the district and in the state. So basically, you're talking about the district, you're talking about DuQuoin Academy, and you see how their CCRPI scores improved back up when you go back to 2014 to the 2015 school year. Long-term achievement goals through using data process. This will help us to achieve goals and to move forward and to help close these gaps and improve our CCRPI and regrow, especially in the science department, which is what kind of the main focus is on this data overview. And that's our data overview for physical science and biology, EOC curriculum courses, and BHS student body as a whole and their CCRPI scores.